Welcome to Community Connections. I'm Kathy Millett. Joining us on the show today are Christine Reed and Taren Hazelrigg from a behavioral health and family advocacy program, here today to talk about domestic violence awareness.
Yes, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and the main thing that we want to do is bring awareness to this critical issue by allowing everyone to know the resources, the programs, the support is out there, whether you're a victim, whether you're someone who is concerned about a victim, or whether you are in a relationship that needs a little bit of help, that might be going through some conflicts and communication issues. So on a preventative side, a proactive side, we really like to get the programs and resources out there.
And one way is through couples communication, right? Yes. What are some skills we can learn?
Some of the skills is working on effective communication, the art of apology, so none of that dirty fighting, really focusing on fair fighting, because couples are, they're going to have discussions and they're going to have certain arguments, but how do you fight fair? How do you have those ground rules and those boundaries set before you get to the point where there's conflict?
Where things can get really bad.
Absolutely, and a lot of times I don't think we think about it until we're in the moment, and by then it's too late. So to have some of that communication, working on active listening, working on some of those techniques to effectively not only communicate and love each other, but to effectively work on issues when they arise, to effectively have conflict resolution.
Okay, and these are classes taught one-on-one?
Well, Love Talk is actually a couples communication enrichment group, and it's offered on Wednesdays at lunchtime from 11 to 1 at Behavioral Health at Building 439. And
is it a one-time
It's actually
session?
4 sessions.
4 sessions, okay.
And it is for couples only, and it is in a group setting, and we will be working with a counselor.
Okay. Now, if a couple feels that they're not comfortable speaking with another group, can they get private consultation?
Absolutely. At Behavioral Health, we do offer marital counseling to work on a lot of those same issues, whether it's a conflict resolution, again, effective communication, working on ways to apologize effectively after there's been some kind of conflict.
Yeah, that's hard too.
And
apologizing can be difficult.
Absolutely. So to establish all of that and be on the same page and understand where you're coming from. I mean, it's important to to sort of strengthen any relationship at all. So certainly marital counseling. There's a lot of different groups that we partner with that also offer things to help couples and to help strengthen marriages. We have Focus, and they work on resiliency training.
Families overcoming under stress.
Absolutely, they work with couples and families together to again build that cohesion and to work on emotional regulation and skill building essentially. For the entire family. So again, proactively working on certain things before they become an issue,
problem.
Before you have violence in the home. And the next Love Talk Couples Communication Group does begin October 17th, and we are taking sign-ups. So now is the time if you're in a relationship and you'd like to be a part of this group and learn more about conflict resolution and effective communication. Another thing that we do have in honor of October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month is we have Miss Janetta McSwain, who is an acclaimed author, speaker, and she has also been a victim of abuse from her childhood and has really gone out there to talk about domestic violence and how it affects the home and a lot of the things that we can do. And she's going to be speaking October 25th at the Foster Theater between 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. And we're inviting everyone to come out and listen to her speak in support of Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Can you give me a couple more resources that you provide?
Absolutely. We have stress management group that we offer, and that's 4 sessions as well. We have anger management, and both of these are going to work on those stressors that sort of precipitate some of the situations that we have when we do see domestic violence. And again, it's going to work on managing anger when you get to that point, and tips to work on before you get to that point.
Okay.
Because again, when you're in the heat of the moment, and whether you're angry or you're stressed out or you're in a situation with your family, it's really hard to sort of rein it all in
Right.
and work on it effectively if you don't actively know the tools
Right.
and the techniques before you get to that point.
Before the argument begins.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, if there ever is an issue, what are some of the steps you need to go through?
Ideally, we would like to see, people come to us before there is an issue. What we're seeing now is that we see it on the back end when, somebody calls in. They either know somebody that has been abused or they themselves are being abused. So we kind of get that through that report from PMO or whatnot. We also have a group, we're talking about those resources, women's empowerment. And sometimes people come to us before the issue happens, and we have different options like restricted or unrestricted reporting options. And we would like to see those numbers for the restricted options go up, just because that means people are coming to us, before it becomes a really big issue, and both people can get help.
What are restricted and unrestricted options?
A lot of times people associate that with sexual assaults. You can come to somebody and receive medical care or counseling and not have to go through making a report with PMO or NCIS or whomever the investigative person would be, so there's legal repercussions. With the restricted option, you have that safety of receiving help. For example, with a victim advocate, myself, or any one of the other two victim advocates. Additionally, there's counseling, so there's different options of groups that are available. There's also medical care that can be received, and a chaplain. There's always that option for complete confidentiality with a chaplain. Whereas with the unrestricted option, that's again where we see things on the back end that have come through, whether it was PMO or some call into us. Yeah. But it's kind of a safer place for people in the restricted option. As soon as people outside of what we call that sphere of confidentiality, those 4 things that I listed before, as soon as it hits, outside of those people, it has to be unrestricted. Whether it was even a close friend, if they're not within that sphere, then it has to be the unrestricted option. But we can still help them. I myself, as a victim advocate, would help them, kind of coordinate through all that process and what that looks like, give them some different options.
If someone wants to get in touch with you for more information, how can they get a hold of you?
Our main line is 645-2915, and from there, we have counselors, we have family advocacy representatives. We can answer any of the questions that they might have, and if there was a victim of domestic violence that wasn't sure if they wanted to go down the road of restricted or unrestricted reporting, then we would definitely be a safe place to ask those questions and find out what their options are before they go down either road. Because once they've told someone outside of that sphere of confidentiality, then it becomes an unrestricted report, and there isn't really any going back. So to contact family advocacy first, or another mental health provider, then that sort of allows that other option of restricted reporting from there. So
Great. Thank you both so much. Great information to know.
Thank you.
Thanks. For more information, you can visit us on our website at mccsokinawa.com. Stay tuned. We're right back with more MCCS TV.